Welcome to ECCB Connects. What are the region's financial institutions doing to protect you from information technology risks? On this episode, we hear from ECCB Governor Timothy N.J. Antoine as he delivers remarks at a Technology Risk Supervision Workshop for stakeholders in the region's financial sector. The workshop was designed to provide participants with comprehensive information about the drivers of various IT risks and how to identify and assess those risks.
Over the last decade, there has been significant advancements in the use of technology, particularly in conducting financial transactions. We have seen the rise of cryptocurrencies and crypto assets, the use of artificial intelligence in monitoring customers, the storage of data to the cloud, remote capture deposits, peer-to-peer lending, and blockchain technology to facilitate cross-border transfers, to name a few. The Eastern Caribbean Currency Union has also witnessed the entrance of digital disruptors. It is therefore important for institutions and regulatory authorities to understand the technologies that are defining business operations. It is not enough for us to say we don't understand, therefore we cannot regulate. We have to pay interest, study, apply ourselves, and be in a position to shape how the financial sector system will evolve in light of these new technologies. Understanding the downside risks of technology, and more importantly, having the right risk mitigating framework in place, is essential to maintaining the safety and soundness of the ECCU financial and economic space. The Verizon's 2018 Breach Investigation report that 92% of malware is still delivered by email. Fileless malware attacks are on the rise, and numerous large-scale and high-profile breaches continue to dominate the headlines. As the frequency of attacks increase, the threat landscape continues to evolve, and new attack techniques such as fileless malware continue to gain prominence along with new attack methods. Therefore, we cannot overemphasize the importance of a robust risk mitigating framework of technology risk, especially given our vulnerabilities as small, open, or as Avinash will say, hyper-open small economies. There should be ongoing policy discussions on matters such as data privacy, to restrict access to authorized persons only, contractual jurisdictional issues to determine who is ultimately responsible if laws are broken, the implications for compliance with AML/CFT laws, and other regulatory and supervisory requirements, among other considerations. Major institutions have issued regulatory and supervisory directives to their relevant industries. The ever-changing technological environment directly impacts those directives and makes it challenging for organizations to maintain a sound compliance posture in control areas such as segregation of duties, privileged access, third-party access, and much more. One such regulatory response is the Basel Accords that are underpinned by and impose requirements on IT systems. Given that operations of banks in particular are highly IT intensive, the Basel Committee determined that IT governance, risk, and compliance must play a role in determining risk-adjusted capital reserve requirements. So this is key, because it's going to affect capital provisioning and capital adequacy frameworks. The FATF, Financial Action Task Force, is actively monitoring the risk associated with virtual currency crypto asset payment products and services, including prepaid cards linked to virtual currencies, Bitcoin ATMs, and initial coin offerings. In order to mitigate AML/CFT risk, the FATF has developed a comprehensive approach to ensure that all countries have adequate oversight on virtual currency, cryptocurrency assets within their jurisdiction. And this is a particular challenge for us in ECCU, because even as we begin to think about how we're going to develop a regional approach and a regional framework for fintech development and supervision, we're finding that many of the players are coming from outside and are operating from outside, but within our space. Because as I always say, technology knows no borders. Technology knows no borders. And therefore it is for us regulators to try to find a way in cross-border collaboration to effectively address this issue, because it knows no borders. There is therefore an urgent need for jurisdictions to develop and implement a regulatory regime for digital assets, as the Financial Action Task Force Evaluation and Compliance Working Group will be considering a revised methodology for the new interpretive note from October 2019. Another regulatory response to technology risk is the utilization of a sandbox approach by monetary authorities. The sandbox approach incorporates the views of subject matter experts and cross-functional regulatory teams to test, learn, and evaluate regulatory aspects of new and emerging technologies, and to inform the way forward regarding the regulation and supervision of emerging technologies. The ECC remains positive regarding the management of risks posed by emerging technologies. To this end, the ECCD and the Barbados fintech company BIT Inc. signed an MOU to conduct a fintech pilot on blockchain technology in ECC member countries. That pilot targets 3 use cases. 1, know your customer, AML, CFT utilities. 2, the use of payments and transfers, how we could speed up and reduce the cost of payments in our region. And 3, very importantly, the issuance of a digital EC dollar, what is called digital fiat, or central bank currency. And that is something that is now being considered, and we are near to finalization on that. The aim of the pilot is to ascertain the suitability of blockchain technology to help boost economic growth and competitiveness consistent with our monetary and financial stability objectives. As I move to conclude, let me say that the rapid changes in technology, along with innovations in the delivery of financial services, poses both opportunity and risk. We all know that. In economics and finance, we talk about a risk-free rate, but the reality is that in our world, we do not live in a risk-free world. Just coming to work, driving to work, involves risk. Just coming up the steps to get into the auditorium involves a risk. But the point is, we do not live in a risk-free world. So we accept that there are risks, and the issue is how do we mitigate, how do we manage.
ECCB Connects, protecting our currency, developing our region.
We'll now hear from some of the participants about the expectations coming into the workshop and how the information they've gained will impact their role in managing IT risks.
The main expectation was to have gain an awareness of IT risk, supervision, and to gain skills and in how to identify and assess IT risk.
I expected to get a better understanding of technology risk, what it comprises of, how does supervision or how can supervisory frameworks be developed to capture and mitigate against technology risk.
As a regulatory body, my expectations were to take back the knowledge I would have garnered at the workshop to actually continue discussions on pertinent topics that we already are addressing, such as virtual currency and blockchain technology, and to also ignite new discussions on topics that were discussed here, data security, IT governance and management. Those are areas that are relevant and are current in the sphere of operation of financial services industry companies.
One of my primary expectations was to be exposed to the nuances that are emerging as it relates to information technology and its risks.
Taken away from this workshop would be the IT outsourcing to third parties, which is very common in our small islands, because most of our IT services or systems seems to be outsourced because of the nature of the companies that we register. They have foreign ownership.
As the administrative officer in the ECSRC, this is all new to me, so I expected to gain a lot of information on technology risk and the supervision of technology risk.
The main takeaways for me were the technology risk, the technology governance, the business continuity management aspect of it. We had a lot of best practices, industry guidelines, so those were key takeaways for me.
My expectations were a lot, because I did have a chance to review the agenda quite a few weeks before the actual workshop. So the topics seemed interesting, and I was very, very enthused about attending.
It really, kind of put the whole thing into context and how I think it's important to take a holistic approach in terms of IT governance. So instead of a piecemeal approach, take a holistic approach, probably include that in our on-site inspection framework, and to improve on the whole IT supervision.
In addition to us as supervisors ensuring that our regulations are robust enough for us to efficiently supervise these institutions, we also have an obligation to ensure that the licensed financial institutions, as well as the wider public, are educated and stay abreast with technology risks.
There's a lot that I want to take back to St. Lucia at First National Bank to start implementing. One of the first things is doing an IT risk assessment at the bank within the IT department to see where our gaps may be. Doing some ensuring that the change controls are really put in place.
There's a lot of information that you had an idea of, but the workshop brought more life to those different concepts. So I think that definitely will help to broaden the scope of our reviews as it pertains to information technology systems and the technology risk that comes with IT in each organization.
One of the things that stood out for me in the session was that good management makes mediocre technology work. Bad management makes superior technology fail. So for me, it's more about proper IT governance in terms of managing the assets, the skills and capabilities that we have to mitigate technology risks.
As regulators, we need to pay significant attention to the emerging threats where IT risks are concerned. One of the things we have realized is that most of the licensees, in terms of entities providing financial services, are moving towards online portals. And that in and of itself presents a significant risk. For regulators, it therefore means that we have to move away from the traditional ways of doing our regulation and supervision and incorporate aspects as it relates to IT risk, its management, its control within our entities.
What stood out for me would be the risk, how much risk that we may not even realize that we have in our institution. The different levels, just my mind opening up to asking various questions that I may have never asked before or even thought of asking. That I think is what's invaluable.
I think the information and training that we had for the whole week sort of reinforces what we are doing at First Caribbean, but it also helps us to understand exactly how we can prepare ourselves and be ready if and when we do get an examination from the ECCB.
Well, there are two main things, the IT risk and the risks to our operations. Quite a bit of the sessions focused on the types of risks that we should consider in our operation. I think it's definitely been an eye-opener, and there are going to be a lot of areas that I will have to review on my return to office. The second thing that I will take away, of course, is the networking. You can never have enough contacts and resources that you can bounce ideas off of, and I think that is probably the bigger thing that I will take back, the opportunity to just reach out to somebody that you've met and bounce an idea off of, get some feeling, get some thoughts, get some reviews, and work through things together, because banking is challenging.
It's coming!
It's coming!
It's coming!
It's coming!
It's coming!
It's coming!
To view any episode of ECCB Connects anytime, any place, at your convenience, check us out on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn at ECCB Connects.
We've come to the end of this episode of ECCB Connects. Thanks for watching, and join us next week when we'll bring you another program.